So Mars right now is moving into opposition with Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde, and it's significant because Saturn and Neptune right now are ruled by that Mars. Saturn and Neptune are in Aries. Aries rules our head, so there's been a lot of thought around these placements: order, structure, hierarchy, work, promotion, stuff. Also the systems and institutions like government, schools, things of that nature. Saturn. And then Neptune. We have spirituality, transition, the veil, practicing and practices. So them together in Aries, spiritual hierarchy, all the way. It has had a lot to say. We've also had the opportunity, because of this placement in Saturn and Neptune, to have really detailed dreams or really detailed messages in a spiritual way, or in the spiritual spaces in your practices. And Mars has been in Virgo, ruling over this space for a while now. It's been a little while. Love you, Mars in Virgo. It's with the South Node, so it's been very action oriented. Let me get into it. That's where I'll have the messages. Let me get into it. That's where I'll have the order. And it's been kind of a natural kind of percussion or procession. Let me be in the activity, and then there will be spiritual transition, hierarchical changes, because I'm in that physical go forward, claim my victory work. So now that Mars is moving into opposition with Saturn and Neptune, we're about to see this really big conversation. Until really we're like halfway through August, this opposition will be with Mars in Virgo and with Mars in Libra. So we'll get to see two different sides of it. Mars in Virgo part of this, we're going to see this really big conversation about what action needs to be taken still so that we can reach our goals that we have had set for a while that just still, for whatever reason, haven't happened yet. Are there still things you want to transition into? Are there still things that you're working towards? Goals, objectives, targets. You have some fruitful dreams about your life that you want to make come true. Okay, well, we're about to have not only a really big conversation about it, but it's about to be ruling over. It's going to be the strongest opposition within the chart. We also have Pluto and Mercury in opposition, but that is for another time, another place, another story. So we're about to see a lot of victory. Mars has to do with victory. A lot of victory start to come through. If you have been spiritually consistent, spiritually diligent, and within the hierarchies that you're working in your world for promotions or climbing the ladder, whatever verbiage you would, there's so many different ways to describe it, okay? Personally, I don't like using capitalistic terms, but they're kind of relatable to Saturn. So discern for yourself on how you would narrate that for your goals and objectives and things that you would like to do. But going back into the brew, okay? If you set yourself up, now's the time. Yep, now's the time. Now it is. There's about to be victory, victory, victory. The victories we're receiving for the first couple weeks of August, they're going to be because we have learned the lessons of Saturn and we have put them into action of some kind. We are also going to see, because Mars is going to be in Libra for part of this, remember all the justice work you were doing for the previous like 3 years, many years, with the South Node in Libra? Lots of balancing of the scales, getting rid of the justice that we don't really want to interact with and working towards the justice that we do want to receive. The balancing, right? If you've been keeping up on that work, when Mars moves into Libra, which happens on August 6th, you're probably going to have the victories of those different chapters come through now also. But it will be, okay, contingent upon, did you set yourself up? If you haven't learned the lessons with Saturn, whether we like it or not, then we have to sit with the lesson. And I say that because Saturn isn't always the kindest, so in opposition, neither is Mars, to be honest. Sometimes they butt heads a little bit. It is what it is. So if you find yourself in a position where things maybe are not going your way, or things are like troublesome, or just there's stuff popping up that you're like, what is going on and why is it here and this is really frustrating, then that situation is teaching you about some kind of boundary, some kind of like, I need this space. There's some maybe sort of rule of effort or lesson of Saturn that you haven't fully understood or integrated yet. Saturn is retrograde, so we are kind of like doing the reconsideration work. Did I get all the lessons from the previous Saturn direct, or did I not? This is going to be a big checkpoint. And if you pass the checkpoint, that's going to be a victory, 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 victory. Cha-ching for some people. Also, let it ring. Good for you if that is true. For others, if you find that that is not true, and it is something that is a little bit more difficult to handle, or you're on maybe like the low side or the slow side, you're learning about it. First of all, take your time with it. Mars opposition to Saturn and Neptune. While that Mars is ruling over the Saturn and Neptune, we can expect a lot of really big turns in the story, turns in our hierarchy, the way that we're claiming victory in our hierarchy. So keep your eyes out for any lessons and be patient with yourself. Give yourself time. Saturn has to do with time. So if you find that things are going wrong, give yourself some time to sit and think about it, to understand it a little bit more. But hopefully you're able to turn the lesson into a victory. It's going to be here for a couple of weeks. So you might have the time, okay? Time with Saturn, right? You might have the time to do that. So hopefully if it is in the shape of an L, you can somehow figure out how to flip it and turn it into an arrow. Let's go. We got things to do, right? yeah. So gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up with your brew. You know I for sure will too. I feel like I have been brewing and doing so much recently. It's been honestly pretty good. A little bit unexpected, I'm not gonna lie to you. Things are changing. I literally told Spirit the other day, I was like, probably about a week ago, I was like, Spirit, there's a lot that's gonna change really soon, isn't there? I can feel it. I can feel it. So if you feel it too, I'm right there with you. Again, gratitude, reverence, and love to you. And I'll talk to you soon. Also true.